mind is setting the table, but I'm not placing the chairs. Religion's free and it's all I've learned. I've got this squared away, and I'm not pushing your knife up, 'cause I'm not good in the meat.
Taurus, this is your April 2016 love and partnership as well as general forecast. We are starting with your love and partnership. First card that comes up says keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. This card suggests you get to know people because they don't always come in the packaging you would expect. It also says get to know one so that your expectations your expectations you have before you get to know a person properly. Maybe, I don't want to use the word disappointed, but you might have an idea of a person that actually has nothing to do with reality. And what this card is saying, keep the open mind, because even though they're different to your expectations, they may even be better than what you expected. So get to know that person properly and keep an open mind. This is someone new coming into your circle, I think, or someone that you've just met. The second card says it's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. It says you may be protecting yourself from getting hurt again, but if you keep shielding your heart, how can you let love in? You need to open up if you want that relationship to grow and flourish. You guys are putting up barriers because you've been hurt in the past, but these barriers are preventing you from learning to love properly again and getting to know a person properly again and experiencing love properly. Then the final card that comes up says heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with one another. I think there's two scenarios here. One, you need to have a heart-to-heart with the person you're with to explain to them why it is that you do the way you do things and say the things that you say because of these barriers. And then the other heart-to-heart discussion is there's someone in your life that needs to hear what you've got to say. I think Taurus on the whole is looking at possibly two situations, one where they're leaving and one where they're staying. Both needs discussion. The guidance card that comes up, the first one says, why are the phrases goodbye, I'm sorry, and I love you so easy to pronounce yet so hard to say? Now this is what makes me think there's coming and going involved here. Some of you are needing to have that heart-to-heart discussion with the person you're with because it's perhaps time you went your own way. And you've known this for a while. The cards have also been saying this over several months now. And some of you need to have that heart-to-heart discussion because the person you're with at the moment is not quite understanding your reticence, that barrier you have up. You need to explain to them why it is there. The next guidance card that comes up says, it's time to push those boundaries, those barriers. It's time to break them down and break through to the next level or the next partnership or relationship in your life. It's time to make that decision. You either have to up the level, get the new relationship, but you can't stay where you are in the same position. So the final card that comes up says, this is true love. So whether it is that the person you're with, you really will end up in a loving relationship with, or there is someone else waiting for you, know that this is true love. So do what needs to be done, should I say, to get this relationship to be what it can be. And it can be a great relationship if this last card is anything to go by. Now for your monthly reading, I've done a where to next after the 2 March eclipses. You have now landed somewhere and this card says, okay, right, now where to from here after all the eclipse adjustments. Now this card is the mending card. It says it's time to let go of old hurts and wounds. So here we come again to this little point. It says this will set you free. And if you don't do this, if you don't let go of those old wounds, if you don't forgive, forget, release, and make peace, You are going to be coming up against the situation over and over. You will play it out with people because it needs to be resolved. I say it in all the videos, this is not my area of expertise. The resolution of these things is for professionals even, or other people, counselors, or if you can deal with it yourself, but it needs resolution. The challenge that comes up says it's time to let go of fear, release somebody or something, all that fear, because it's time to move on. And we all know very well, if we don't move on of our own free will, the universe will move you on, and that's when it could possibly hurt, right? Now, the way around this challenge says you are hanging on to a secret. Taurus has a secret. It's something that needs to come out into the open. The fact that it's a secret also needs to be looked into. There's two cases here. One, you don't want to hurt the person you're with. And two, you don't trust the person you're with enough to reveal the secret. Those are two situations that need looking at. That's not a healthy relationship, or it's not the way to put your relationship on a healthy footing. It can be seen to. Then the next step to take says try not to overdo things. By all means, have fun, work and play hard, but be aware of doing too much so that nothing gets properly done. Now, this is a little human trait we have. When we are faced with situations we don't quite want to square up to, we tend to fill our lives with hundreds of things so we can distract ourselves. And this may be what is playing out here. Your outcome card says you are reaching a point where you will need to break something down completely. It's crunch time here. It's a culmination of events. You are not unaware of this. You are perfectly aware of this. Every single one of you Taurians facing this situation know exactly what I'm speaking about where it comes to your lives. It says go through this knowing you will emerge stronger than ever before. But it's time it was dealt with. It's time. Now your guidance says remember to celebrate what is good in your life. So even though there's possibly quite a bit of a challenge to be faced for Taurus this month, there's going to be good stuff too, and you need to really make a good celebration of when the good stuff happens. Remember that's important. It brings the balance into life. It reminds you there is always good on the other side of the scale, right? Because the next guidance card that comes up is that one of dawn, and that says there's a new beginning. So it says you've been through that dark night. The sun is just starting to break through, and it's the promise of a new beginning. It's the transitional stage as you're moving from the darkness into the light, but you can see the sun starting to come through. So there ahead of you is the light at the end of this tunnel. So there's great hope here. That enough is reason to celebrate. Now your soul path card says it's time to share. It's time to belong to and work with a group of people. You're keeping yourself separate. Even if you're among people, you're keeping yourself separate. That's that barrier you've erected. Working with people and being with people is not losing your power. It's sharing energy. And that is what you need to do and understand here. You need to share that energy. The guidance card that comes up with your soul path says it's time to do some inner searching, some deep inner searching. You need to sit still, keep quiet, and look inside yourself because there's something you're not squaring up to. There's something you're not facing up to. And you know what? At the end of the day, when one stops and you have a look at this thing, it is so small. But the fact that one keeps running, it just gets bigger and bigger in your mind. And it's this huge big ghost in the end, which actually has no substance. Sit down, look at it. It's tiny. Deal with it. Now the final card that comes up is the card of change, and this says expand your flexibility for change and you'll enjoy the vitality of life ahead. This change for Taurus is not physical change. You guys are particularly good at that. You stick to something and then you'll just as quickly change gears and fly off and do something else. This change is a change within yourself. Something in you needs to shift and you need to make that shift. And it will give you an immense vitality and a new enthusiasm for life. That is not running away enthusiasm, genuine enthusiasm. Right, Taurus, so that is your April 2016 reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and listening.
The winter's here and I am moving on. You've got a way of making me feel all my days are gone. The summer's here and all my days go out. You've got a way of filling my mind with this self-doubt. I'm not scratching the surface, you're not even close. Religion's free and it's all I've learned. Let's get this squared away. Your body temperature's dropping, you better sit on the scale. Religion's free and it's all we've learned, that it only gets in a way. The winter's here and I